Hello, everybody. Welcome. My name is Shanda. If we haven't met, I am a master coach here with She's Creating an Empire. And I want to talk to you today about embracing your true calling and why this topic. Yes, let's start with that. Hi, Brittany. Good to see you. Drop a 1 if you're watching live. Drop a 2 if you are watching the replay. I would love to see who's here with us and who takes time to watch the replay. Okay. So the reason I'm so passionate about embracing your true calling, why this topic got me so excited, and I put my hand up, I was like, Melanie, let me do this one. Let me do this call, was because, hi, everybody. Good to see you. Okay. It's because I literally lived a life that was the good job. Right? I went and I got the good job with the 5 weeks vacation and the full benefits and the beige cubicle and the big corporation. And it was a good job. Really, truly, the people that I worked with, some of them are still some of my greatest friends. It was really a special experience. And being someone who, my mother was disabled when I was young. And so I really took my ability to work. I never took it for granted. And so I had this sense of like, I have to get successful fast because you just never know. You just never know. And I now have, a sense of responsibility for my family, I felt like, right? Now I have to step in that matriarch role. And so for me, I took that responsibility very seriously. And it almost destroyed me. Not because the responsibility was too much, but because there was so little of my truth in it, of my calling in it. Right? So there's this movie. I don't know if you've seen it. I think it might be one of my favorites. It's called Eat, Pray, Love. Yeah. I haven't read the book, but the movie is 10 out of 10. And she says this one phrase that is my truth. She looked around at a life that she had actively participated in creating, every last ounce of it. And yet she didn't see any of her in it. And that was my truth, out of a sense of responsibility, out of a sense of accomplishment, out of a sense of, just doing the right next step, the next best move. And I lost myself and I lost my sense of purpose, so to speak. I still like business and I'm still helping entrepreneurs dynamically grow their impact. And I really found it a very interesting industry, but there was more. There was more. And I believe, and the reason that we call this embracing your true calling, coach and take open, is because I think there's something special about women. I think there's something special about men. I think that there's, different strengths that everyone brings to the table in terms of personalities, in terms of genders. But one of the things that women are really good at is coaching, equipping, and grooming others. Coaching. Right? So whether it's your children, whether it's your colleagues, whether it's your sisters, your mom, your dad, your partner, your spouse, whatever it is, in life, we tend to be really great support systems. And a really great support system actually is a mirror, actually is an equipper, actually is someone who brings out the best in you. And I believe that as women, we are designed to set others up for success. Set ourselves up for success and set those around us up for success. And so becoming a coach is a very natural process for us because we kind of do it anyways, right? And it's so funny because I'll take a challenge to someone who I consider to be in my inner circle and they'll say, well, have you tried? What about? Did you know about? That's why women make the best social sellers, because they're like, I found this thing you got to try, right? We don't keep things to ourselves, whether it's tools, whether it's favorite restaurants, whether it's our favorite hair care product. We're going to share. And so that energy of collaboration, of co-creation, of coaching and supporting others, in my opinion, is actually a feminine quality. And it is a feminine, everyone has masculine and feminine in both of them. I just know that this quality is something that is divinely set apart for the feminine. And so your true calling, if you haven't found that sense of purpose, if you haven't found that sense of accomplishment, that sense of calling, then maybe this is the exact call for you. Okay. I want to go through our framework, a portion of our framework. There's actually a few different pieces that we utilize to help people become coaches. And I'll describe to you a little bit about how that works, what it looks like, and then announce, because we're officially open. We are open for coach intake, which means we can interview, we can take a look and see if you're a good fit for us. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to walk through some of these key points so that you can really see what it is that we build this on. Okay. Hold on. Let me make it bigger for me. Okay. So the success model. That's our framework, which provides a roadmap for individuals to apply these principles to their lives and achieve personal growth and success. A success coach can help individuals set goals, develop a plan of action, provide guidance and support through the process. With dedication, effort, and the right mindset, anyone can achieve success and reach their full potential. Now, here's the thing that's interesting, and what I love about this concept is it doesn't matter the space you're in. Are you a sales coach? Are you a sales manager? Are you a dog trainer, which is actually a people trainer? Y'all know that, right? Are you a hairdresser? I remember my naturopath, who is my main healthcare professional. She actually got sick and tired of giving people direction and giving people instructions that they would then go and not do. There was a self-sabotage that happened where they didn't actually achieve what it is that they set out to achieve, and they didn't follow the directions that were going to get them success. And so she's like, I got to know why. And that's when she went into the process of understanding some of this, understanding the reparenting that we need to do, going back through how we can actually undo some of those bad self-sabotaging habits and create success with the direction that we want to go. And so it doesn't matter. Maybe you're a naturopath. Maybe you're a nutritionist. Maybe you're a network marketer and you've got a big team and you're like, I just want people to do it, right? If you've ever given someone instruction who's in your care and they don't follow through, then this success model is the framework you can use to help others reach their full potential. So that's what gets me so excited about this coach intake, is that it doesn't matter if you're a little league coach, if you're a mom, if you're a seven-figure network marketer. These tools can simplify and create even more impact for you. Okay. So how we help you transform your life with our self-reparenting model. Here's the thing. Many of us were not taught the importance of personal development principles, such as time and money management, positive mental attitude, accurate thinking, and self-discipline. So as a result, we may struggle with implementing these principles in our lives. However, it's never too late to learn and apply these principles. One of my favorite things that happened when I really mastered the success model and started utilizing these tools and these steps is that I got complete control over my health. I no longer made physical decisions that were bad for me on, like, you know how you do that? You know what you should do and you know what you shouldn't do, and you don't do it? That stopped happening. And so know that this is just as much a self-coaching tool as it is a coaching tool for others. Because when we self-reparent, it's a process. And it's a process of healing and nurturing the inner child that was not taught these principles. And then we implement them in our lives. In this framework, we explore a step-by-step process for implementing personal development principles through self-reparenting. Now, there are 15 steps to the actual personal development principles, the tools, and we don't have time to get into that today. So what I want to do is I want to talk to you about the steps that are actually more of the success model in terms of mindset and shifting versus kind of the pillars of the success framework, okay? So step one, what do? We acknowledge the inner child. This is probably some of the most profound work that I've done because we all have three ego states. We have the child, we have the adult, and we have the parent. And I believe that most of us are probably having no fun, right? Drop a 1 in the chat if you feel like you could use some more fun in your life. Well, if you've ever spent any time with a little child, they do not forget to have fun. They can take a stick and turn it into a magic wand. The way that they create this sense of adventure and this sense of connectedness and this sense of presence is so beautiful, right? I remember I was playing with my niece. I said, what's your favorite craft? What's your favorite thing to do? She's like, glue beads to paper. I was like, this is so much fun. Let's glue beads to paper, right? And so when you really listen and acknowledge and reparent and connect to your inner child, it brings that sense of playfulness out. It brings that sense of curiosity out, the dreamer. It's like that song, Don't Quit Your Daydream. When we were kids in the backyard playing astronauts and rock stars, no one told us to quit it, to be more realistic. So that's the part of us that when we reparent and acknowledge the inner child, then everything can shift. This inner child may have experienced neglect, trauma, or simply a lack of guidance and support in learning these principles. So it's important to acknowledge and validate those feelings and experiences of this inner child so you can bring the play out. You can have way more fun. Okay, and then the next step is we identify the gaps. It's identifying the areas where personal development principles are lacking in our lives. Like I said, we have 15 different principles that we master and that we actually implement in our coaching. And actually, it's not open yet. You can't get coaching from our success coaches right now. We're actually putting together a group of coaches we're certifying over the next couple of months so we can actually launch this coaching program for the people who want to receive it. Right now, this coach intake is literally about getting the people who believe in what we believe that this kind of framework, this kind of community, and this kind of energy is something people need and want to be a part of, not only being coached themselves, but coaching others as we go out and bring this framework into the market. Okay, get on stages, start speaking to others, bring this to their family. It's this core group that will be starting with us is going to be a really special group. And so this second step of identifying the gaps, this is a process, right? So maybe it's lack of definiteness of purpose, or maybe you aren't diligent in your self-discipline. Everyone is going to have a gap, or at least an area where they're the weakest. You may be pretty epic, right? Maybe you just crush in personal development left, right, and center. That wasn't my story when I got here, but maybe it's yours. And so if that's the case, then we can still look at it, right? Where is the area for the most improvement, right? I love the wheel of life example, because when you look at the different pillars of your life and they're not balanced, there's one that's a little bit less focused on, and that happens, right? Think about running on a wheel like that. It gives me that visual of the lack of momentum that happens when you neglect your health or your family or your faith or your finances, right? So we help you identify the gaps. And this may include time and money management, positive mental attitude, accurate thinking, self-discipline, and other principles we struggle with, right? Identifying these gaps, we create a roadmap for self-improvement. So that's part of the coaching framework, is learning how to identify the gaps and then what to do about it, right? How many of you guys would like to know where's the thing that's holding me back and what I can do about it? Absolutely. So that's, again, part of this coaching model. Then step number 3 is we learn and educate. Once we've identified the gaps, the next step is to learn and educate ourselves about the principles, of course. Now we know where we get to go. We get to go and invest in those tools. So it may involve reading books, attending workshops, or seeking guidance from mentors or coaches. It's important to approach this learning process with an open mind and a willingness to change. For us, what we do is we help you learn where to go for these tools and trainings. A lot of them we offer inside our community, but there are times where, whether it's counseling or it's support or it's a specific skill set, that when that needs to be the area of development, that it's easy to identify. Here's the thing that I love about this, and this specific part of our coaching model, is that, have you guys ever looked at a personal development or a training or a different coach that's out there and been like, well, they sound good and I like them, but I don't know if that's what I need next. I don't know if that's the right thing to invest in next. Is that going to be the thing that moves the needle next? This next step, this learn and educate step, is actually about not just knowing what skill set to focus on, but how to identify which support you need. So you can say, yes, that's the tool, that's the book, that's the information, that's the mentor, that's the coach for me. Okay. And that's one of the things that has helped me so much working with Melanie Greeno and working with the Success Framework, is that I don't spend time wobbling between different directions. I'm very clear, and it creates momentum and simplicity and achievement that is just beyond my wildest dreams anyways. I thought there'd be way more course correction. Not that there isn't any, but it's simpler. And I haven't wasted time, wasted energy, or wasted money in a very long time. And so we want to help you do that as well. Okay. The next step is to practice and implement. Shocking, right? Knowledge on ice is not helpful. What do they say? I don't know. I'm going to mess up the sayings, but literally we not only have to know, but we have to do. And so practice and implement these principles, these concepts in our lives. It may involve creating a budget, practicing positive affirmations, setting goals and deadlines. It's important to start small and gradually build momentum towards implementing these principles in our daily lives. So I want you to check in with yourself. Have you guys ever set a goal and not hit it? And then set the same goal and not hit it? And then set the same goal and not hit it, and felt this sense of stagnantness? That's what this framework is here to help you bust through, to start creating momentum, to start taking actions towards what it is that's going to get you there, and to create appropriate next steps and targets so the milestones along the way are not just achievable, but create the momentum you're looking for. Okay? Now, step 5, and this is the one we get the most kickback on: be patient and kind. It's important to be patient and kind with ourselves throughout this process. Self-reparenting and implementing personal development principles is a journey, and it may take time and effort to see progress. It's important to celebrate the small wins, be gentle with ourselves when we experience, not if, when we experience setbacks and challenges. See, here's the thing. When we're doing something we've never done, we call it self-reparenting because I'll tell you right now, if you're on this, one of the things that every single person who's going to be one of our coaches is doing something that their parents never did. They are going to be the first in their family to not be bankrupt, to create millions of dollars, to be financially free, to graduate with a program, to create a certain level of income, to not get divorced, to be in good health. They are breaking some sort of generational story, and they have to go back to that place and basically teach themselves how to do it because they didn't have an example. They're the one in their family, as Ed Milet says, in some way, shape, or form, okay? And so if that's the case, just like when a baby learns how to walk, they have to do that on their own. And you can't do it for them, can't, right? So it doesn't matter how many times you fall down. But that's what this community is so beautiful for. In my experience, those who have this I'm the first in my family thing, right? I'm going to be the first one to retire early, the first one to leave a large inheritance, the first one to groom the next generation to be financially successful and not be in the rat race, the first one to be an entrepreneur, the first one to be in good health into my 80s, whatever it is. Okay. The people who feel that calling, who feel the calling of being something more than what they've seen, of breaking some sort of story, they have very high standards for themselves, right? Because they're creating a new definition of success. They're setting a new bar that they haven't necessarily seen exampled up close and personal. So what now? Sometimes they can use that bar to beat themselves up. And so this community, what I love so much about She's Creating an Empire is the people. And the fact that we can support each other through the growth, through the little wins. I'll tell you right now, I've got this lady, she's absolutely amazing. I asked her for a picture of herself and she's like, can you get one from Panama? Because every picture I had before I found this community had me in a choker, and I don't want to be seen with a choker on anymore. And just the visual representation of what that meant to her, that season for her, I think about this and it's like, we need to celebrate those moments of being like, this is who I am. This is how I represent myself. And this is the kind of picture I want out in the world. Right? I don't want to be seen with a choker on because I have something to say and I am allowed to say it and I should say it and I'm bold and I'm expressive and I'm here, right? What that means to her is very different, right? And so I believe we need people that we can celebrate those little things with. When I was learning, so I was $1 million in debt when I found She's Creating an Empire. I was able to pay off all that debt. And it was a really dynamic experience for me. And I had to, no one celebrated it. When I didn't go out and spend $200 at dinner, when I didn't go and buy that thing, there was no one to celebrate staying on budget with. There was no one to celebrate paying off debt with, except for I started, and it's kind of like the baby version of She's Creating an Empire. I started an accountability group in my living room. And we would all celebrate, like, where did you cut your expenses? Where did you celebrate? Where did you pay off your debt? Where did you make a difference in your financial future? What income streams did you add? And we still do that. And She's Creating an Empire. And actually, I had learned it from Melanie, so I'm not surprised, but I needed somewhere to celebrate it. And this community is really special for that. So as you go through your challenges, you learn to become a tennis ball, not an egg. And you learn to be patient and kind and gentle and loving with yourself in the process, as well as having that grace for others. Because here's the thing, as you go through this process, and whether you're leading other people in business, you're leading other people in your personal life, you're leading other people at home, you're always leading. Right? It's John Maxwell talks about the 360 leader. Like, we always want to have a positive influence, be that thermostat, not the thermometer in our home and in our life. And so as we're out there going through this process, we're going to have other people who are growing and learning in front of us as well. And one of the most beautiful things that I believe you can learn, and what we actually teach in this framework and in this coaching community and to our coaches, is how to believe it's safe to grow and how to be a safe person to grow in front of. Because if you can be patient and kind with yourself, you can be patient and kind with others. And that creates an environment for extreme growth, because people aren't afraid to fail because they're worried they're going to let someone down or that they can't be perfect, right? So this be patient and kind piece is a really, really special part of what we do, and it's absolutely vital. Okay, so in conclusion, the success model is self-reparenting is a powerful process of healing and growth, and implementing personal development principles as an essential aspect of this process. By acknowledging the inner child, identifying the gaps, learning and educating ourselves, practicing and implementing these principles, of course, and being patient and kind with ourselves and others, we can create a life that's rich with meaning and purpose. And so I'm going to stop sharing my screen here and just say, this really is why I am so excited about this coach intake. Look, we have a track record. We've helped over 5,000 people pay off over 60 million in debt. The average person in our community adds 2 to 4 streams of income within 6 to 12 months. Christine, I don't know if Christine's on here, just hit a milestone. She's completely debt-free, $435,000 worth of debt. She's now full-time traveling on the beach. I think she's launched 4 streams of income. It's absolutely incredible what our community has a track record of doing. Here's the thing. We have never before given the framework for what we do inside our community for you guys to take outside of the community. We want to see our coaches on stages in their sphere of influence. Lisa, she's one of our newest success coaches. She's a corporate recruiter for large companies. She loves helping people get placed in their right jobs. That's amazing. Let's teach them the success model inside corporations, right? I was talking to Jamie, same thing. I was like, we need, because she actually does confidence coaching for females, specifically in the sciences. That's so cool. It's like, how amazing would it be if we can take this kind of framework to those people so that they can become those 360 leaders inside their organizations while learning to be confident, right? Arlene, she's an amazing example. She's doing charity work in Africa, right? What if when you're working with your team to raise funds, to project a cause, that you can actually equip them to create new stories around money, around success, right? Susan, she specializes in women over 50 in fitness and is really, really, her and Brenda are both really beautifully connected to the Aboriginal community in Canada, and they have a huge passion for equipping those communities. Take this framework into those communities. This is the first time we're taking a group of women. We're going to give you the tools that we've always given you, but we're going to teach you the psychology and the process behind our coaching and have you take it out to the marketplace. Have you take it out to your sphere of influence, to your stages, and teach you how to get on some of those. We are going to have some training on how to find some stages and how to find more places where you can get this message out, because we're on a mission to impact 1 billion lives. And I know that that's a big goal. And, they say goals should be for growing, not for getting. Yeah, I think it was 100 million. And we did the math and it was like, that's like if we keep doing what we're doing for 5 years, like we need something that's going to stretch us and requires us to grow. And quite frankly, is big enough for you guys to fit inside of it. We need you ladies to be in activity with us. And so I want you to know what becoming a coach looks like. We are going to have a certification. We have the certification process. So you get to learn the framework, to learn the processes. There's 15 steps in the personal development piece, like all the different analysis, all the different frameworks. You're going to learn all of it. Okay. Once you're certified, you can take that certification to the marketplace and you can use these tools as part of your coaching. Now, we also have some amazing community experiences we get to do. So we have coach huddles once a month. We are going to have a breakout session at our next retreat, which is coming up in August. And right now, because this is the first group of success coaches we've ever certified, there's only 20 spots. And the reason that there's only 20 spots is because we really want it to be an intimate experience. I know we have thousands of members on here, but it needs to be a sisterhood, pioneering this mission together. And we want it to be intimate. We know there'll be hundreds and thousands and millions of coaches along the way, but this starting founders group is going to be a really, really special sisterhood, a really special community where 5, 10, 20 years from now, we'll look around at each other and be like, do you remember when it was only a couple of thousand people in a Facebook group? When it was only a couple of hundred people in a room? Do you remember? And we'll be sitting in these stadiums as the people who were there from the beginning. And there's something so special about someone you build something with, you create something with, that you were there along the way. It's my favorite thing about being a success coach. I get a front row seat. I get to sit there while you build your dreams and help you along the way, and then literally be like, there's people, and it's so funny. Sue's on here. She's the person. I'm like, Sue, do you remember? She's the one that vouches for me. No, Shanda was a mess. Shanda was miserable and a mess. She was a miserable mess. And people are like, there's no way. There's no way. She's sparkly and happy and joyous. And I was like, no, you got to see the picture. I literally looked like The Walking Dead. I was miserable, right, Sue? So it's so funny because then you get to have those people that are like, do you remember? And they're like, yeah, I do. And it's this beautiful experience that you get to have once in a lifetime. And being at the beginning of something like this is really special, but we need the visionaries. We need those that are on a mission, who are willing to help us bring the principles of good time, good money, good mindset, and good marketing skills and management to the marketplace, helping people really reparent themselves and have the tools that they need to succeed. Success is not hard, and it is universal. The tools and the systems and the mindsets that make you succeed one place will help you succeed somewhere else. Sarah Blakely could open any business and would win. Elon Musk could open any business and would win. Period. It's just the way that it works, because once you know, you know. So that's our goal, is that success leaves clues. Let's give you the clues. Let's give you the key, and let's do it together. So when it comes to the coaches, because this is a very intimate group, it closes on June 29th because I'm going to be traveling and we need to make sure that you guys are onboarded, that you have everything that you need. Our goal is to be starting to have all of you take clients late July, early August, late August, latest, depending on how much time you have to put into the certification. Okay. So we need some time to get you all set up and coached yourself and ready to rock and roll. And we're going to be in it with you. And so you're actually going to have someone guiding you along the way of this first coaching experience. So the deadline's the 29th, and we already have, I think it was 10, 11 people now that have already been confirmed as our first round of founders, or our first round of coaches, the founding members. So we've got 11 confirmed. So that means there's only 9 spots left. Okay. And I think it's so funny because I love you ladies so much, but like, we opened the certification like a week ago, and this is the first time I've announced it publicly. It's more than 50% filled. I'm so excited. But also, we have a very specific criteria for the kind of woman we look for. You have to want more in your life. You have to be ready to apply what you learn. You have to be ready to get a coach, someone who's going to help you go to the next level. And you have to be ready for that next level. You have to have a heart for others. And you have to be nice, not nice. I'm sassy. I wouldn't say nice, but like, you can't be awful. We do not need more Karens in our life. I worked in corporate for way too long, and I'm like, there are some people I do not want to work with, and I don't have to anymore. And so please, if you're a jerk, you need not apply. But what I am going to do is I'm going to get my calendar link dropped here, because we're going to do some strategy calls. And these strategy calls, they're kind of like interviews. They're kind of like, is it the right time? It's really about making sure that you're the right fit for us, that we're the right fit for you, that this is the right time for you, and that we're going to be able to get results, because there's absolute, our job, like my resume is the success stories, right? If you guys have seen my content lately, all it is success stories. It's like, here's Davita and Carly and Sue. It's just crazy. It's crazy. So for me to be able to celebrate all these women, Christine, like freaking, let's get some love in the chat for Christine. Let's get some sevens for prosperity. Because that woman being completely debt free, over 400 grand in debt, completely paid off. She started with us in 2021. That's incredible. I'm so freaking proud of you, girl. Like I'm looking for the next Christine. I'm looking for the next Susan Dawson, paid off over $500,000 in debt, now has 3 streams of income, traveling the world. I'm looking for the next Davita, whose son is being equipped to start his own business as a recent high school graduate, who took that choker off, who is claiming her divinity, she just left the country for the first time. She never left the country before. She's not under 40. She is an 18-year-old. So like, crazy. I don't know how old she is, but what I can tell you is this is the first time she left the country. It's crazy. Carly, I can't even tell you. Carly's like, she sang in public for the first time in 10 years. It's incredible what's happening. Kyla, the silly, sassy woman who's been unlocked. I don't even know what happened. It's amazing. And so we're looking for the next ones. We're looking for the next success stories. And if we can't help you succeed because of where you're at or what you're going through or what success looks like for you, I will be very honest, because I am looking for more Carlys and Sues and Davitas. That's what I'm looking for. Okay. So my call booking link is in the chat there. So if you wonder if becoming success coach is for you, I want you to book a call. We'll have a conversation and we'll see if it's the right fit. And I will be there to support you and cheer you on either way. And I can tell you my favorite thing to do is these calls, because there's times where we can help and what we're doing is a good fit. And I'll tell you about that. There's other times where it's not. And that's okay too. But the cool thing is it's like a starting point. It's like drawing a line in the sand where I get to start watching your journey and I get to cheer you on. Like, I know there's a lady on here who, and I'm not going to mention her name because I haven't asked her permission, but we had a strategy call and the next step was not to work together. I was like, go here, do this, try that. Here's the next thing. Here's the next thing. Here's the next thing. And she's sending me updates in my DMs and I'm cheering her on and I get to be that cheerleader for her. And it is such a gift. So I would love to see the start line of your success story. I would love to support you and cheer you on. And if joining our team of success coaches and being one of these last 9 founding member positions is the right fit, then I can't wait to invite you into our coaching team. And we've got some extra special goodies. You're going to love this. This is so funny. It's one of my favorite parts. We're actually going to be mailing tiaras to all of the founding members. Yeah, that's what we're doing. Can't wait. Okay. Well, thank you so much, ladies, for your time. Book your strategy call. I can't wait to meet you. I can't wait to start having that front row seat to your journey. And I can't wait to see who these success coaches are, because this is going to be a divine sisterhood that pioneers a movement that is talked about for generations. And I am so excited to see who's going to start it with us. All right, everybody, we'll see you later. Momentum group members, we will see you in 25 minutes.